नमस्ते दोस्तों, आपका वैल्यू एजुकेटर चैनल में स्वागत है, जहां आप सीखते हो स्टॉक मार्केट में निवेश करके आप कैसे पैसे बना सकते हो। तो मेरा नाम है शशांक और ये वीडियो हम डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे ऐसे एक स्टॉक के बारे में जो मैं करंटली ट्रैक कर रहा हूँ। ये अगेन केमिकल सेक्टर का स्टॉक है। केमिकल सेक्टर के स्टॉक्स के रिलेटेड मैंने काफ़ी अलग अलग जो वीडियोज है वो वैल्यू एजुकेटर चैनल में क्रिएट किया है, जो आप देख सकते हो। काफ़ी डिटेल वीडियोज है और यदि आपको ये अलग अलग वीडियोज पसंद आते हो तो जरूर इसे लाइक कर दीजिए, मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकन पे क्लिक कीजिए ताकि ऐसे जो वीडियोस है वो आपको आगे जाके भी मिलते रहे। तो आज के वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे अबाउट तत्व चिंतन का बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है और करंटली क्या क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ है उनके बिजनेस पे, क्या मेरा पर्सनल आउटलुक है, क्या क्या अलग अलग ट्रिगर्स है बिजनेस में, कौन कौन से जो बिजनेस सेगमेंट्स है वो आगे जाके स्केल अप या ग्रो हो सकते हैं। तो ये सब के बारे में हम ये वीडियो में काफी डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे, तो जरूर वीडियो को कंप्लीट देखिए। सो फर्स्ट विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द वैल्यू चेन ऑफ द तत्व चिंतन एंड विच आर द डिफरेंट मटेरियल्स और प्रोडक्ट्स दे आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. So Tatva Chintan's basic raw materials are tertiary amines and alkyl halides, which generally they import. After that they make the product which is called as PTC, that means phase transfer catalyst. From PTC they manufacture two sets of different segments or different set of products. One is SDA, structure directing agents, and another one is generate different set of chemicals which goes into pharma and agro intermediates. From SDA, zeolites are manufactured. Tatva Chintan is not into zeolite manufacturing. Zeolites are manufactured by the Tatva Chintan's customer and general application is into the emission control of the cars. And electrolytes are also manufactured by the SDA. We will discuss about electrolytes, salts and supercapacitors as we progress ahead in this video. Now let's try to understand what is the revenue contribution out of these four segments, how many different products they are manufacturing, what is their global and domestic positions, and what are the different applications of these products. So let's start first with the SDA, which is structure directing agents. So maximum revenues Tatva Chintan gets out of this segment, which is about 52.19%, and currently they have about 47 products out of this segment. If you check the domestic position of the Tatva Chintan, they are the largest and the only manufacturer of the SDA. And then they have the various customers. Some of them are also in China, where they export the SDA for the zeolite manufacturing. As I said earlier, it goes into the emission control for the cars. We'll talk about this later, as this segment currently got impacted due to chip shortages. The next product is the PTC, which is basically a raw material for the SDA. It contributes about 22.75% of the revenues in 2022 financial year. So some of the PTCs they consume themselves to manufacture the SDA, and remaining PTC they sell into the outside market. So currently about 48 products they are manufacturing in this segment, and again they are the largest producer in domestic market, and also in the global market they are one of the leaders. Application of this product can be into pharmaceutical and agrochemical intermediates. The third category of the Tatva Chintan is electrolyte salts. Currently this category is contributing only 1.32% of the total revenues, but this category also actually expected to grow very fast because the applications of the electrolyte salts are generally into electric vehicles and renewable energy sources. And Tatva Chintan is the largest producer of these electrolyte salts and supercapacitors in the domestic market, and they are also one of top 3 in the global market. Then last segment of the Tatva Chintan is pharma and agrochemical related intermediates they manufacture. So in 2022 financial year, Tatva Chintan contributed about 23.73% contribution from this segment, where they have about 53 products, and generally this product goes into the pharmaceutical, agrochemicals, paints and coatings, disinfectants and antiseptics. So let's first start with the phase transfer catalyst, which is PTC, and PTC goes into the SDA manufacturing. So there are different other uses of the PTC, like it offers the faster reaction, which means it acts as a catalyst. Then it also have the higher conversion yields. Due to production of the fewer byproducts, it also minimizes the waste also. Phase transfer catalysts are also used into pharmaceutical industry for the synthesis purpose. Tatva Chintan is one of the leading global manufacturers or producers of the entire range of the phase transfer catalyst in India, and one of the key producers across the globe. So as I was mentioning earlier, general applications of the PTC goes into pharmaceutical, agrochemicals, flavors and fragrances, and to control the air pollution when SDA, which means structure directing agents, are produced from the PTC, and finally it goes into zeolite manufacturing. On the right hand side chart, you can check the year on year growth which has happened into PTC segment. So as I was mentioning earlier, PTC either can be used or utilized by the company to manufacture the SDS, or Tatva Chintan can manufacture the PTC and sell it to other customers. If you check the quarterly revenues of the Tatva Chintan, in PTC segment, then quarter on quarter it is increasing. One of the very important reason for this number is SDA segment actually got affected because there was a shortage of the chips and most of the application of the SDA which goes into the emission control. That's why instead of consuming the PTC internally, companies started selling it outside. So under phase transfer catalyst, QAC is their main product and which have the different applications starting from antiseptics, fabric softeners, adhesives and coatings, zeolites, disinfectants, wood preservatives and agrochemicals. So now let's discuss about the SDA, which is structure directing agents and zeolites. So SDAs are the important raw material for creation of high precision zeolites. High purity quaternary salt, which is a type of SDA, generally helps in the formation of the channels and pores during the synthesis of the zeolites. And then the zeolites which are manufactured from the SDA generally goes into the application for emission control as a catalyst. So zeolite is generally a porous sponge-like substance used in exhaust system, acting as a filter for the smoke release to reduce the hazardous gases which generally goes into the air. As you can check in this chart, permissible emission levels has drastically reduced from BS1 to BS6 and currently for the BS6 it's only 0.4. If you can check on the right side diagram, generally a catalytical converter in simple language is the exhaust filter which is used to avoid discharge of carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxide, which are the generally dangerous gases which generally goes into the atmosphere. There can be different applications of the zeolite starting from the exhaust system of the cars, but it can be also used in the bigger applications like emission control for the trucks as well as the bigger ships. Currently Tatva Chintan is facing certain issues in this segment because globally there has been a shortage of the electronic chips, due to which global supply of the automobiles has also gone down, which has negatively affected the SDA segment of the Tatva Chintan. If you can check from 2018-19 till 2022, Tatva Chintan has grown nicely from just 20-25 crores to 224 crores in 2022 financial year. But if you can check on the right side chart, which is generally a quarterly chart, so Tatva Chintan generally used to post about 50 crores plus revenues from the SDA segment, but in quarter 1 23 it has reduced to only 6 crores. So there has been a very big impact on this segment due to global chip shortages. And SDA is the largest segment for the Tatva Chintan, which also have the highest margins. That's why their profitability also have impacted a lot. There are very high entry barriers in this business and the competition cannot enter very easily because the customers take generally 4 to 5 years just to approve the product. Let's now discuss about the supercapacitors and electrolyte salt. So electrolyte salt generally goes into the battery application, while supercapacitor is another component which goes parallelly with the battery. Generally when you need the very high acceleration, that time supercapacitor is that component which generally used into the electrical vehicles. So this is the component which stores the charge for very short period of time, but whenever it is needed, it gives that boost of the power for limited period of time. Tatva Chintan generally used to get 4 to 5 crores of the revenues from the electrolyte salts and supercapacitor segment. But if you check in recent quarter, that means quarter 1 2023, they had clocked about 6.9 crores of the revenues from the single quarter. That means it is possible to reach up to 20 to 25 crores of the revenues in financial year 2023. Supercapacitor also have the application into renewable energy sources to store that charge. Apart from that, in electrical vehicles, it can be used for the acceleration purpose as well as for the regenerative braking. Tatva Chintan is also manufacturing a product called as monoglyme, which is used in manufacturing of the solvents for lithium ion batteries, cleaning products, ink adhesives and coatings, pharmaceutical formulations and many other applications. Currently, total opportunity in this market is about 15,000 to 18,000 metric ton, while Tatva Chintan can manufacture up to 3,000 to 4,000 metric ton for their particular customers. If you check, per kg cost of this product is about $7 to $8, and with 3,000 metric tons of the volume, Tatva Chintan can potentially generate the revenues of about 170 crores in future. Currently, Tatva Chintan is the largest manufacturer of the monoglyme in India and third largest in world. If we check the process detail, then Tatva Chintan is trying to reduce the moisture content with the single step instead of 2 steps to avoid installation of additional dehydration unit. Here we can see the hierarchy of the different segments margins. So Tatva Chintan gets the largest margins from the SDS, and SDS also contribute highest into their revenues, which got impacted recently due to chip shortages, and we can see that impact on the right side chart. After SDS, PSC comes, which have the second largest margins, then electrolytes, then flame retardants, and at the last PTC segment comes. Flame retardant is the new segment which Tatva Chintan is trying to enter into, and flame retardant is that segment which can have $1 billion opportunity as well, but management is guiding the particular segment which they are interested. It is related to electrical applications where the potential revenue for the Tatva Chintan can be current size of the total revenues, which can be about 450 crores. That means only from the flame retardant segment, Tatva Chintan can double their revenues. In the right side chart, we can check the contribution of the SDS from only 12% in 2019 has gone up to 52%, and at the same time their EBITDA margins has also increased a lot because SDS has the very high margins compared to all other different segments. And after that, in Q1 2023, if you check, SDS was the worst affected segment which only contributed 7% of the total revenues, and that's why the margins also has fallen from 27% EBITDA to about 19% EBITDA. But it is expected that from FY23 second half, generally SDS demand will come back and margins also can improve from here on. Now let's discuss about Tatva Chintan's R&D expenditure. So if we start from the 2018 financial year, so they were spending about 7% of the revenues into R&D, and currently also they are spending about 1.85% of the revenues for the R&D purpose. Currently Tatva Chintan has about 24 employees into R&D segment with 10 senior highly qualified scientists. After the beginning of the commercial production at the Dahej, which is their future capex, there will be approximately 20 to 25 PhDs. And post completion of the expansion, which is the capex currently going on, expected to be online around November to December month of this year. And after that, it is expected that the contribution of the R&D will be generally 3 to 4% for development of the newer and newer products. Here we can check the capex details. So around there will be 150 crores of the capex, and they will be adding 200 kiloliters of the capacity. So total capacity at the Dahej will be around 480 kiloliters, and apart from that they will be also adding the R&D facility at Vadodara, which will cost them about 24 to 25 crores. So total plan for the capex is around 175 crores. So generally, if we take the overview of the Tatva Chintan's business model, then it is that particular business which is continuously evolving, continuously trying to grow with different products. Initially they were into PTCs, then they developed SDS which got a very good demand. Then currently they are focusing aggressively on the electrolyte salts, and upcoming segment will be the flame retardant segment. So companies keep on evolving and trying to grow at very fast rate. Definitely there has been a bit of a challenge due to global chip shortages, but companies trying to come out of that situation by developing new products. So if we check the Q1 2023 result, it was not very good result. There has been a substantial decline into their profitability because SDS segment, which contributes highest revenues for Tatva Chintan, which also have the highest margin, which got affected badly. But even after that, the stock price, if you check, it has not fallen much, and I think one of the very important reason for this is most of the stake is with the promoter. About 80% of the stake is actually with the promoter. And if you check over the period of time, DI has also increased their stake from 7.36% in Q2 2022 to 10.75% in Q1 2023. That's why stake remain with the public is only 6.55% and is a very low float stock. That's why the stock prices are generally not fallen because there is not hardly any big seller. So according to me, the company is very good. It's a very dynamic company which wanted to grow. Upcoming capex is also coming online in this year, which is November and December month of this calendar year. Company is also developing newer and newer products, but I think valuations at this point of time are not very favorable, and there is no margin of safety to enter into the Tatva Chintan even if the business remains good. That's why it is currently in my watch list. I have studied the business, I am following it every quarter, but I have not added in my own portfolio because of the valuations reason. If valuation reaches to decent level, then only I will be adding the Tatva Chintan in my own portfolio. तो यदि आपको भी स्मॉल कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करना है, माइक्रो कैप कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करना है एट देयर ग्रोथ फेज विथ रोबस्ट रिसर्च, देन आप भी मुझे जुड़ सकते हो. आई हैव स्टार्टेड द माइक्रो कैप क्लब. इसका जो लिंक है आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा. इट इज मोर ऑफ अ कम्युनिटी एंड आई विल बी ऑल्सो शेयरिंग कि मेरा फ्रेमवर्क क्या है, मैं कौन कौन से जो माइक्रो कैप से इसमें इन्वेस्टेड हूँ. तो सारे डिटेल्स आपको मिल जाएगी. इसके रिलेटेड जो लिंक है आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा. और यदि आपको ये तत्व चिंतन का वीडियो पसंद आया होगा तो जरूर इसे लाइक कर दीजिए, मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकॉन पे क्लिक कीजिए ताकि ऐसे जो वीडियोस है आपको आगे जाके भी मिलते रहे. और जरूर ये जो वीडियो है आप आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उनको भी काफी नॉलेज एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिल जाएगा.